Hello. So a few people must have seen this news that broke out yesterday from People's Gazette, um, talking about the senator from Edo South, the senator that read out the punishment, or the one that was in charge of the ethics committee, that the kangaroo ethics committee that eventually um, sentenced, in quote, Natasha Akpoti to 6 months suspension period. Um, so interestingly, People's Gazette came up with an exclusive yesterday, and I talked about, or rather, reading their version of it today. They looked into the life of Neda Imasuen and in his practices when he was out of the country, out of Nigeria, when he was practicing in America. So I'm just going to get right into the news, and I will come back quickly to talk about the kind of candidates we're looking for leadership position come 2027. So exclusive, how Neda Imasuen fled US after FBI linked him to 25 million bank fraud, returned to Nigeria to lead Senate Ethics Committee. Um, so Neda Bernard Imasuen, the senator representing Edo South since 2023, he was the mastermind of a sprawling and bank heist in the United States before fleeing to Nigeria to pursue successful career in politics, according to U.S. court filings reviewed by People's Gazette. As the head of the Nigerian Senate Ethics Committee, the head, remember that, Mr. Imasuen activated the disciplinary measure that led to the controversial suspension of Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, a senator from Kogi, for 6 months. The suspension has been widely rebuked as unconstitutional by leading legal voices, including Chidi Odenkalu, Abdul Mahmoud, and Femi Falana. You can check one of the free videos I did yesterday. I read out some of the statement that Femi Falana made concerning the illegality of the suspension, because you cannot suspend somebody that's your mate anyway. And because it's against the Nigerian constitution, we must all have representation. So Mr. Imaswen, however, dismissed the criticism as unfounded, saying he acted dispassionately to protect the integrity of the Senate from Mrs. Akpoti-Uduaghan's salacious charges of sexual exploitation against Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Mr. Akpabio also denied Mrs. Akpoti-Uduaghan's claim of a proposed tryst between the duo. But before he returned, now this is back again to Maswen, but before he returned to Nigeria and landed a key spot in the nation's highest lawmaking institution, Mr. Emaswen led a legal career in New York that was marred by delinquency and sharp practices, documents showed. Now, delinquency is what you do when you don't do things that are right anyway, so just for clarity. On March 9, the Gazette reported how the senator was disbarred for life in New York for taking money from a client without representing her. He also blew off subpoenas from disciplinary panels of the New York State court system. Fresh documents seen by the Gazette showed Mr. Emerson was named in a criminal court case as a facilitator of a vast fraud that bilked more than $25 million from a host of financial institutions across the US. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, said Mr. Manson was the lawyer who arranged the transaction underlying the substantive bank fraud charges in the indictment, according to a review of a case involving Mr. Emaswel's co-conspirator Imran Ismail Badula. The amount of fraudulent mortgage loans by Mr. Emaswel and his co-conspirator exceeded $25 million, according to a federal grand jury indictment that came down on December 14, 2012. Prosecutors said Messrs. Imasuen and Badula's scheme targeted no fewer than 33 banks, including ABN AMRO, Citibank, HSBC, Wells Fargo, and Lehman Brothers. The fraud involved using straw buyers with good credit scores to secure loans after being financially induced, an act that violated federal law and intended to defraud the financial institution that issued the loans. Judge Kiyo Matsumo of the U.S. District Court of the Southern District of New York in Brooklyn identified Mr. Maswin as an unindicted co-conspirator who executed the allegedly fraudulent transaction, which lasted between 2008 and 2009. Judge Matsumo sentenced Mr. Badula on January 25, 2017 to 30 months in prison and placed him on probation for 5 years upon release. He was also ordered to pay restitution to the bank. Despite repeatedly promising to send a detailed clarification since Sunday evening, Mr. Imasuen failed to submit his response to the Gazette's inquiry before his story was cleared to go live Tuesday morning. The senators appeared to escape to Nigeria after the fraud was carried out. His public profile said he returned to Nigeria in 2010. About the same period, he was unreachable for his grievance proceeding before he was disbarred, and as federal agents opened an investigation into the bank fraud. So this goes on to explain who Mr. Imasuen is, and so now let's just get to the meat of the matter here. Okay. First of all, this man used straw accounts. And if you don't know what a straw account is that I want to buy a property. I come to you, I think you have good credit score, good credit rating. That's what it's called in the West. And I say to you, I'm going to give you some money. I want you to buy this property for me. So you buy in your name. I put the money in your name. And afterward, I induce you with money. And after I get the property off and sell it, I just make money and then I don't refund the money back. Just simply put, in the way that this straw account works. And that's the kind of schemes that Neda Bennett Imasuen was indicted for. The reason why I decided to go to take this story is simple. Our system does not do checks and balance on people who we employ to be public servants. Sorry, our system doesn't do it. In the bid of making a change in 2023, everybody from all walks of life and people with questionable character joined the obedient bandwagon. And that's how Neda Imasuen literally got into the Labour Party and then obviously won his senatorial district in the 2023 election. The fallout from this Natasha Akpoti's case is going to be far-reaching at some point later because so many of these other questionable characters will be looked into. You will see I said it. But that said, the reason for my decision to actually touch on this story is because I want us to look at the possibility of starting this process early. So that I've said this again, if Peter Obi is running on his own or Moyele is running on his own or they're banding together, we need to start vetting the characters of the people who we want to spot. If not, we're just going to do exactly what APC and PDP have always done. And we're just going to take offshoots from them, corrupt individuals from APCs and the PDPs, and just run with them, and the outcome will be the same. So, if the likes of Peter Obi and Omoyele Sowore are really, really interested and serious, this is about the time you start to plan so that Nigerians can look into the service life and the character of these individuals who were going to run and campaign and run down the street and say, vote for this person, vote for that person. Otherwise, the story remained the same. The story about Neda Imasuen and this fraud that is done. Literally, we're looking at a particular senatorial district in Edo South and we're saying, this guy representing you is a criminal. That's what the story is actually saying. An unindicted co-conspirator. It means they've done their investigation already. It's just a case of saying, now, we're not putting you clear and say, you're now being indicted. You're the fraudulent person. Take your sentence and go to jail. They said Neda Imasuen. So I'm saying to all of Nigerians, and I'm saying to the likes of Peter Obi and Omoyele Sowore, if you must run in 2027, I know Omoyele Sowore is made his candidacy known, but what is more important is the other areas. Him alone running for president is not going to cut. You need governors, you need senators, you need rep members, you need all of these people. That's why they're coming together would have been a very formidable force. All right. So we need to start vetting those candidates. The likes of we ran with Ireti Kingigbe, and we're seeing the outcome of it. I'm not supporting any of them. I'm only just saying we just need to be more careful with the kind of candidate we're having. If not, we're just recycling the same old criminals who've been there for so many years or who've done something in different areas, and then we'll then find out later and how corrupt they've been. As always, please like, share, and subscribe to this content as well so that you will get notification when we create new and release new content like this. But above all, we want to make sure that 2027 is a good starting ground for us to make and change the narrative about Nigeria. All right, we need to elect a new president, new governors, senators, all across board for Nigeria to work. So join our voice by subscribing and making these, shouts out loud to bring this awareness to all Nigerians, irrespective of their zones. Thank you as always. Bye for now.